0958 1881. High Impact Studios, the future.
Welcome to the high side of life. Join us every day at High Impact 102.1 FM, your urban lifestyle station.
I just want to be yeah.
Welcome back. The show is on record where every word matters. My name is Vivian Oguche and this is High Impact 102.1 FM. Today we are taking a look at legislative reform, strengthening parliamentary processes and promoting transparency and accountability. Media analyst Adeniyi Ifetayo joins us on the show today. It's so good to have you on the show today, Adeniyi. Good morning.
Good morning, Vivian. Good morning, Nigeria.
Thank you so much. So let's hit the ground running, shall we?
Yes. Let's hit the hill on the head.
Yes, please. So what measures can be taken to improve the efficiency and effectiveness of parliamentary processes, especially in Nigeria as it is today?
Yeah, there are many processes, there are many things that need to be put in place. And as we all know that legislative reform is imperative in strengthening our parliamentary system. And of course, Nigerians depend on the side of the political divide one may belong to have continued to push for a constitutional reform that will engender good governance. And also, while deepening and strengthening of our parliamentary processes, which cannot be overemphasized. Some have argued that we should give serious consideration to part-time legislature. So in order to cut down the cost of running the two legislative arms of government, by the time when you look at the humongous allocation going to the two chambers, both the upper and lower chambers, and the cost for a question, I'm sure you and I were in this country when at the beginning of this year, when the budget was being passed, or we look at how much were highlighted or allocated just to procure SUV vehicle for all the legislators. So you can see that what some of the things that we can do. I support. Let's have maybe, for example, we might decide to have only the Senate, or we might decide to have what's the House of Rep. We might decide to say that let's make it a part-time basis. After all, they only come to stand to be corrected maybe 3 times in a week, and they say they go to their constituency, and because of that, the election, in fact, it has really made part of our election to be money induced. It's like the highest bidder get the nomination of his or her party. So even if you have good intention, you have so many things that you can bring to bear, to legislate good governance or laws that can make citizens, to have good standard of living. But if you don't have resources, so you will just be left. That's why the Bible says, even the wisdom of the poor is despised. So I think these are many other things should be considered in making sure that there's transparency, there's independence of legislature. Not that because I orchestrated how you become a speaker, or I orchestrated how you become the Senate president, so you must dance to my tune. Of course, like they said, he who pays the piper dictate the tune.
Yes.
So these are many more that we need to look into to make sure that we deepen the processes, we strengthen our parliamentary processes and promoting transparency and accountability.
It's interesting you mentioned part-time lawmakers. In fact, the bicameral legislature, which consists of 2 houses, The green and the red chamber is what we practice in Nigeria. Now, but
Yeah.
if you take a look at a number of other countries around the world, like Sweden, Norway, Iceland, these are countries that practice bicameral legislature once upon a time, but switched to unicameral, which is just one house. And I'm sure it has worked for them. Do you think it's a situation Nigeria should begin to consider, where we have just one house to cut the cost of governance? Will this be effective considering the kind of democracy we practice?
Yes, it will. Surely, it will. They said you can't continue to do the same thing and expect a different result. You know, if we're crying and say there's no resources, there's no money, you know, I'm sure you and I were in this country what it took the labor and the government to come to term and say, okay, this is the minimum wage in Nigeria. And if you look at it, I think Nigerian legislature, they are one of the most, if not the highest paid legislators in the world.
Yes.
You understand? So you can, we notice that because of that, and we usually say that they say you should cut your coat according to your, not according to your size, it's according to the cloth that you have. Don't say because you are size 20 and because you only have cloth that can take, just merge it together and just make sure you are following the trend. But because our running it is so much expensive, and if other nations have done it, I think we should take a clue. But after all, I still stand to be corrected. Some of our leaders, anything that is not favorable to them,
all right, now
for you to pass it. But if it is favorable to them, they will protect it at all costs. So I'm sure.
all right, we seem to be having problems with the
Protect it and guide the yes.
Okay, we seem to be having problems. Yeah, I can hear you, but we seem to be having problems with the connection. I hope, but can you hear me clearly? Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, clearly. I can hear you clearly.
Fantastic. I can hear you now too.
Please, I can hear you.
All right. So it is said that, you know, engaging citizens through avenues such as public consultations, open hearings, and feedback mechanisms on proposed legislation will enhance transparency when it comes to lawmaking. So I asked the question earlier on, do you even know the lawmaker representing you? Have there been, what's it called now, open hearings where you banter, where your lawmaker brings feedback, where you make your concerns known? Have you ever had that kind of experience with your representative?
No. In fact, you know, sorry, I also start to be corrected. Most of them, they only return back to Abuja, for example. I mean, they only return back to their constituency maybe when there is a social event, a social engagement that they must attend to. A lot of people, once they are in that position, or when they have an empowerment to do. No, that is not the work of a legislator. I think I said on your TV one time while I was in Finland that before they even pass any law, before they make any law, they take it to the people first. This is what I intend to do. What do you think? Can it go? And the people will deliberate on it based on whatever they conclude. That is what the lawmaker will bring to the floor of the House. And these are these that we intend to do. These are these that we think it will be beneficial to the people. So I think, like me, for example, I only know my House of Rep member, the person representing my constituency on billboard. You know, so, and I'm sure that's the case for most Nigerians.
Yeah.
You know, and assessing them alone is also an accolade task, as if you have to, you know, push a camel through the needle of an eyes of the needle. You understand what I'm saying? So, but one of the things, they should make themselves available, transparent. I'm not saying they can attend to everybody. Have a representative there who listen to the people and they forward their complaints, their yearnings, and you make sure you are for the people, so to say. So not just things that will benefit you or a section of the society. So that thing is still lacking. That openness, that transparency is still lacking. That's when we hear a rumor, a House of Rep collects also amount. Ask them, how much is your salary? How much do you earn? How much do you collect? How much is the what's it called, constituency project? All these things are kept in secrecy. I don't want to mention a name. I know a senator who said, look, I'm not interested in any contract or whatever. Pursue whatever you can. Pursue whatever. Maybe I think it's in about 10 committee like that. Okay, you are my staff. Pursue this one. You pursue this one. Just to make sure the job is executed. And while you are doing that, please be briefing my people. These are the stages we have. These are the projects that have been approved. These are the amount that have been released, so that there will be a monitoring. All those processes. But by the time it's done in secrecy, and people begin to doubt whether legislators, they are actually accessible to the people, or they are being transparent.
Very well said. Now, this other question I want to put across to you has to do with budgeting and financial oversight. Now, you remember when the term budget padding became very popular in Nigeria. You hear stuff like that. There's an amount the executive puts to the legislature for approval, and then you hear that it's triple of that amount that has been approved. So what reforms are needed to enhance the role of Parliament in budgeting and financial oversight?
You come again, I missed that last part.
So what reforms are needed to enhance the role of the Parliament when it comes to budgeting and financial oversight?
Is to get people involved, is to get private sector involved, is to get some of these people that operate in the area they are even trying to budget for. For example, how can you tell me you want to install one solar light, street solar light, and you are quoting 110 million for one? It's absurd. As if an individual, even if you are doing a budget, invite a private sector, someone in that field, cancel us. How much does this thing cost? I know, yes, of course, there will be a profit margin, a markup. Let's say 5%, 10% is okay. And you are doing thousands of solar street lights, but by the time they begin to somebody will just put one figure there because he knows that it's coming, so his or her constituency, and by the time they release it, they'll be the one to bring the contractor to execute it, so there will be a kickback. So that all those things give room for budget padding. You understand? So they should involve expertise when they are making, it's just like most of them you have different experience, different field, and they put you are making a budget when they submit it. If you don't have expertise in this area, reach out. Let there be someone that can be, consulted, as in like a consultant, on the budget, different sector of the economy. What is the reality? How much does this thing cost? Then you add plus or minus 10%, 15%. But by the time you make sure that even 100% is added to an item, it costs for the integrity of that particular arms of government. So I think they should involve when it comes to budgeting, or to cut all these budget padding, as it were, is for them to involve the people, is for them to involve the technocrat, is for them to involve expertise in that particular area. They don't just leave it and say, okay, let me just do it. Because if, let's say, for example, a House of Rep member or a senator knows that this project is coming to my senatorial district or my constituency, there might be a room for just them to inflate the prices of those items, maybe intentionally or otherwise.
Very well said. Now, in this age of technological advancement, how can technology be used to improve lawmaker-constituent relationship?
Yes, thank God for the technology. That's why we are having these interviews. Sometimes we do via Zoom and all
Yes,
of that.
yes.
So that still boils down to when we are saying part-time legislature. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So you can embrace it. Zoom is not every time you must fly into Abuja. I'm sure if there's one good thing about COVID, I'm not saying it should come back, is that it shows us alternative how to do things. I think people now, they have their meeting via Zoom or Skype or whatever it is, so they can embrace that. Flying to Abuja every week and return back to your constituency. In fact, it's even better for them than in their constituency. While, when they come together, except there is a urgent need for them to meet physically, you understand? So unless there's for example, I was talking about to digress. Okay, I don't even need to say that. So that's what we are talking about. They should embrace technology. There are so many apps that they can have the meeting. I have a monarch in this country who said that sometimes they want him to be in the palace all the time, that we can have a screen anywhere I am in the world. You want to see me, you want me to talk or adjudicate a case or make my input. Yes, there'll be screen in the palace, or if anywhere I am, we just, let's talk. It's not a must that, people have other things to do, that they can channel their energy, channel their time. So I think when they make our legislature, when they make them to come to the time that we are going to do it on a part-time basis, they will think out of the box. But if they are, massaging them, all those emoluments, all those they are packaging, they will be eating fat on the resources or the taxpayers' money.
So now, when we talk about these part-time legislatures or part-time lawmakers, are you saying that they can now have some other profession they can be practicing while they are also representing their people at the national level? Is that what you're saying? For example,
yes, of course, so that they even be more even productive in their own endeavor or their own profession. And when you mean by part-time, we are only paying for that time that you are spending, to make law, to look at the bills that are presented or amendment and all of that. So you are only paid for that time, you understand? But that's why every one of them want to do anything they could do to be there or to stay there, to remain there. Check most of a serving senator and House of Rep member, the reason why at least majority of them, they left their party was because they said, you have done enough. We can't give you the ticket, and the disagreement will burst out, and you now say, okay, let me go and pitch my tent elsewhere because I just want to be there. There's so much that's going on there that we don't know unless something like this happens. So I encourage that part-time lawmaking. I encourage it so that they can even have their time. It will not be for those who want to serve. It won't be a do or die affair that I need to be there. You understand? So I support it. But of course, it will be, anything can happen, but it might be very difficult for them to support that initiative that they should make our lawmaking, a part-time basis.
There are two very important questions I'd like to ask you. Let's see if you can answer one before we go on a break. But the first one, if you remember, this past few days, Senator Ali Ndume has been in the news. He voiced out not so long ago to say that the cabal is fencing President Tinubu off, that people can't get to him. Shortly afterwards, we heard that he came under fire, removed from the committee he was in, and all sorts of things. It's like he's been going through hell ever since he made that comment. So what measures can be taken to address conflicts of interest and promote ethical behavior among lawmakers, right? So that people can speak freely and not be crucified for their speeches.
Like I said, Senator Ali Ndume is been in the Senate. I think this should be his fourth term, if I'm not mistaken.
Thereabout.
And Yeah, thereabout. And another thing you can say about him, I'm not sure he's missing any words. But because he has been there, I'm not sure, maybe one governor, help him to get there. And that's why he has his mind to speak freely. But because most of our lawmakers are the product of maybe a godfather, a governor, support their campaign. When I mean support, financially and otherwise. Yeah. And because of that, for them to speak against that institution, if you understand, like they call it, they say structure. Against that structure, it will be very difficult. So that's why it's because that place has been made, what's it called? That's why they want to do anything to make sure they get there. But if it's based on I want to serve, and Nigerian people too, the electorate too, we are also part of the causes of this problem. Because when they come every 4 years, they give us stipend, take this 4,000, take this 10,000, as the case may be. You now begin to, instead of you to vote for the right candidate, because you are being manipulated, there's money inducement, you just, let's vote for this person and put it there. If it's all about service, and you look at it and say, let me give, I think this person have something good to offer, I think I should vote for him. Why can't we have those people who are going for who are going to our House of Rep or Senate? Let's also have debate for them. If you can have it for governorship aspirant, if you can have it for the presidential candidate rather, or governorship candidate, why can't we have it for them? Let people sit down, listen. These are the people that will decide your future, as it were. So listen to them, see the person who deserves your vote, question them, ask them, so that if they are not doing according as they have promised, then you can challenge them, you can call them out. But because you have collected something and like they say, you sold your birthright, it's very difficult for you as well to challenge them. So I would say that if you are going there, if you have your own money, in fact, one of the senator was complaining and said that the issue of delegates should be scrapped, because now delegates, they are one of the richest politicians when it comes to voting and all of that. So, and when you are talking about that, they decide how much they want to collect. In fact, some of them, they collect dollar now. You understand?
Not naira, dollar.
So, in dollar, yes, they collect dollars. So just because they want to, cast your vote for you, and if you don't have the delegate vote, you can't stand as a party flag bearer.
Wow. Talk about monetizing the electoral process in Nigeria. Well, we'll take a short break, but when we come back, Adeniyi, I'd like you to address this issue. There is hardship in the land right now. Nigerians are crying. They're saying there's hunger in the land. In fact, there is an imminent protest. Yeah. So what should lawmakers be doing for their constituents in this day and age when people are dying of hunger? Is the question I'm going to be putting to you when we return from this short break. So stay with us. Yeah.
Do you know bad production can kill a great content idea?
Do you want to have a photo shoot, audio production, or do you need a professional voiceover artist?
Do you simply want unmatched cinematography, video production, or just event coverage, such as weddings, birthdays, or burials?
Or do you need a space for meetings or conferences? All these are possible with High Impact Studios. Don't bring down your creativity. Let's help you take it high
and out of this world with our state-of-the-art equipment and first-class studio space.
We give you the quality you deserve at the best rate.
For more details, call 0706 393 5694 or 0915 958 1881. High Impact Studios, the future.
High Impact Radio, 102.1 FM.
Welcome back. The show is on record right here on High Impact 102.1 FM. My name is Vivian Oguche. Now, you can watch us live on High Impact TV on Nicomsat 42 Degree East. We are also live on YouTube, High Impact 102.1 FM, and on X at High Impact 102.1 FM. Now, we are still discussing legislative reforms, strengthening parliamentary processes, and promoting transparency and accountability with media analyst Adeniyi Ifetayo. Thank you so much, Adeniyi, for staying with us on the show today.
Yeah, thank you. It's my pleasure.
Thank you. So I was asking, right, before we went on the short break, or I said I was going to ask, what do you expect representatives and lawmakers to do for their people in this present age where Nigerians are suffering? What should lawmakers be doing?
Yeah, two things. We started with the reform. What I expect the lawmaker to do is to also look the age-long agitation for resource control by the federating unit, where the state have full control over its resources and contribute a percentage to the center. So when they have full control of their resources, they know where they choose pinches. You understand? But those are the things they need to do, and this can be reviewed by the continuous review of our constitution. Some of the gray areas that appear to be a clog in the good governance. You understand? And as well, when it comes to issue of constituency project, or it's not just only infrastructure should be looking into. The situation we have now is so tense that people could not even afford to buy not even 3 square meal a day. Even two self is a difficult task for them. So I think when they are talking about constituency project, they should look at distributing food items, encourage local farming, and distribution of food items especially, to cushion the effect of this economy hardship. But of course, just like I said, if it's not coming to them directly sometimes, if it's not something they can make something from, it will be very difficult for them to legislate such a bill or such act.
All right, very well said. Now, the topic is strengthening parliamentary processes, and we are zooming into accountability. Now, let's talk about recalling lawmakers who are not performing. When constituents are not very happy with the lawmakers they voted in to represent them, they can be recalled, right? But it's not something that is really practiced in Nigeria. I remember one time, the very first time I heard about it was when Senator Dino Melaye of Kogi State there was an attempt to recall him from the Senate, but it didn't happen. But what's your take on this, though? Can constituents recall back people who they sent to the national level that are not performing?
Yes, I think it should be done, and I think this is where technology comes into place. Some people, they don't want to come out and...
Can you hold on? I'll quickly pick this call and I'll get back to you. Please, good morning. Thanks for calling. Tell me your name, please, and where you're calling from. Hello? Hello? All right, I think I lost the call. I'm so sorry. So, Adeniyi, you were talking about technology earlier on. Please go ahead.
Yes, some people have been victimized, and some people fear of being victimized, make them to shy away from coming out to express their feelings and, to recall a sitting senator or any lawmaker for that matter. So I think what they should do is that it should be done via online, so that the issue of intimidation, so the issue of money inducement will not come to play. You understand? Because by the time you say the people must come out and they must vote and to recall a senator, and you see that such lawmakers also will mobilize. Some people will go to the houses, some people will threaten. I know you know what happened in Lagos during the election when Hulum, they took over some street and said, this one, I don't want to mention name, Mama this, Mama that. If you are not voting for A or Party A, don't come out. If you are not voting for Party B, don't come out. So all those forms of intimidation also arises. So because of that, people just shy away that, oh, let me leave them, let them do it. But if you tell people, if you make it technological, most people, they are on Facebook or whatever form, you can only vote once to record this person. They will sit up. And if they have done it, one or two people or three people have been affected, everybody will sit up and they will know that this is what I called to do, and they will do that judiciously.
But there are people, a minority though, who are not technologically inclined. There are people who do not own phones, right? People in the rural areas. Now, how do you now handle that? How do you, yeah.
My sister, there is nothing that cannot be learned. I remember almost 20 years ago, for you to withdraw your money, even as whether you are 50 years, 70 years, 80 years, you go back, you go to the bank, you feel, what's it called?
Can I quickly, I'm sorry, let me quickly take this call. I'll be right back. Good morning. Thank you for calling. Please say your name and where you're calling from, please. Can you hear me? All right, I lost that call. Keep trying, right? Keep trying. Eventually, we will pick your call. Adeni, so sorry to cut in like that, but please continue. You were taking us down memory lane.
I said that 20 years ago, to make use of bank, you have to collect your money or to make any savings. You have to get to the bank, even though banks, they are not as many as they are this time around. But as time goes by, people, there's what they call ATM machines that were deployed in some strategic locations, and even old men, old women, they began to learn how to press this. There's a different languages. If you want Igbo, press this one. If you want Hausa, if you want Yoruba, if you want this one, those kind of a thing, and we begin to get used to them. You understand? And there's nothing that can't be learned, just like I said.
Very well said. Yes.
With that, if they tell them these are the process, just press this and this one will be recorded if you don't want it. And you can even see as time goes on, we also have what's it called, the POS operator, who are in every noon and cranny of this country now to serve the underserved people, whether in rural area or anywhere they are. So technology can solve this thing. People will just get used to it, and by the time they master it, and that will be all. So yes, it might be very, very challenging at the beginning, but as time goes on, it will get used to it, and just to vote, to recall somebody, you know what to do and all of that.
Yeah. So, but for this to be successful, awareness, massive awareness comes into it, right?
Yes. Awareness, advocacy, piloting it, maybe select 4 different states, one in the east, in the south, in the west, all those kind of a thing. So by the time you do all that, and we'll get over it.
Fantastic. On a final note now, as a media analyst, what role can civil society groups and the media play in promoting transparency and accountability when it comes to parliamentary processes?
It's just for them to continue to the advocacy, reorientation, telling, for example, now, so many people, even in our public school, primary, secondary school, they don't know what goes on in the in House of Assembly or State House of Assembly, National House of Assembly. Those are the things that can be acted upon. Let's see how this thing works. Let's dramatize it, or encouraging some of this public school for excursion, go to State House of Assembly, see how lawmaking processes are being done, and we really save. And media too, just like you said, they have a role to play. These are your rights. These are the things you can recall a lawmaker if they are not performing well. Let the people know their rights. Let them know that you can ask them, you can question them, so that among any other things that they can do to make sure these people are kept on their toes so that they can perform what they are elected to do.
And this is a very safe place to land. Thank you so much, Adeniyi, for being a part of the show this morning.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Thank you. All right, we've been taking a look at legislative reforms, strengthening parliamentary processes, and promoting transparency and accountability. And my guest analyst today has been Adeniyi Ifetayo. He is a media analyst. Apologies for all those that tried to call in but couldn't make it through. We apologize. We hope to do better next time. I have been Vivian Oguche. A big thanks to my producer and everyone who contributed to making the show a great success, and a bigger thanks to you for listening and watching. Until I come your way again, bye for now.